Welcome back, Wash Up Walk-Ons fans, episode 377 of the Tyler Kluver's Had a Baby podcast. He's got us out here recording what feels like 7 episodes this week because he's trying to bank shit for when he's a dad and his entire life comes crumbling down and he no longer has a second of free time to himself. So here we are. Kevin said he's got 25 minutes. He's got shit to do. He didn't go any further than that. When he doesn't go any further than that, I don't ask questions. Kluver, what's up, pal?
Well, before Kevin got in here and we hit the hot button, you told me that you were socially autistic. So I'd love to hear what's going on in the Drake camp.
I'm completely incapable in social situations. And not only that, I today, for the first time ever, almost had an anxiety attack. Full-blown sick, riddled with anxiety, thinking about going to this neighborhood Christmas party with a bunch of people who have had much more to drink than I ever care to, that I don't really know, but that I also have to act really kind of like good because, one, they're nice people. There was no issue with the people. They're fantastic people, but I don't know what I'm doing. And so I don't know, dude. I'm socially autistic. My social skills need work.
I assume that this is something that Kaylee set up.
No. It's our neighborhood, man. So we live in like a neighborhood that's hardly a neighborhood because it's really there's no HOA. It's being built. People are just starting to move in, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, man, a lot of business owners and stuff, and they do a lot of get-togethers at each other's houses, which this is my first ever neighborhood party in my life. So, yeah, I don't think I was in my best. I didn't give my best performance.
Now, Drake, is this like a developed thing? Because you used to be perfectly fine in social situations.
I think so.
I mean, use it or lose it, right?
I've lost it.
Yeah, I guess you could say that, Kluv. It's being able to socialize as a skill just like any other, I suppose, right?
I mean, I worry about that sometimes with myself. I sit here in my house and that's all I do. I'm even less social than Drake. He at least goes to a separate location to train.
But the other thing is, like, Kaylee owns this magazine, right? And there's a lot of successful business owners who could certainly advertise in her magazine potentially. So yeah, I'm like trying to be on my best behavior and then also try and be a part of conversations that I don't know how to be a part of, boys and girls. So I'm struggling with being a social butterfly.
See, what you're running into there is the thing that I have actually crafted a skill at. And it's social bullshitting. You have to act like you care, and it's tough to do.
Just ask questions.
Yeah, and that's something, Drake, that you don't do well at because
I'll tell you what though, but I like to listen to the stories, right? I sat with a couple of the older guys in the neighborhood on the back porch and just listened to them tell stories, which is about as good of a social situation as I could get, because then I don't have to talk and I can actually be interested.
Yeah, I mean, welcome to adulthood.
It's tough, dude.
It's tough sometimes. It really is. Welcome in. This is 377. I don't know where this goes, especially if Kevin dips out. People talking shit about the walk-ons. You guys know that?
No. Well, what else is new? Who's chirping?
You were clean, Kevin. You actually got a compliment on there.
You came out clean, Kev.
What is this in the Discord or what happened?
Somebody said they're waiting on Kevin's in the transfer portal.
Hey, dude, who's not in the transfer portal, right?
Hey man, if there's another podcast out there that wants to tamper and throw me an offer under the table, my DMs are open.
Drake and I could be a 2-man show here soon. It might be DHD all the time. Yeah, man, there's there's message boards out there. I'm not on any of them, but tons of our listeners and our fans are. Couple screenshots got sent our way. We got goons out there, and it's not provoked by us. We certainly don't care. There's been people talking shit about us since episode 1, and that's okay. We're not going to please everybody. We don't aim to. But somebody said they didn't necessarily like the comments, I believe, about Justin and Arlen and Keegan and Terry.
I didn't even say anything about Justin. I just said, well, I mean, now that he left, it's just good riddance like the rest of them.
Yeah, well, and you called Arlen and Keegan pussies, and
well,
well, and I'm not saying I'm agreeing or disagreeing. I'm just saying they didn't like that, and then someone came in and said, Drake's a moron.
True.
Kevin should.
True. Drake gets that.
Drake's. I believe the comment was something like, Drake's a moron. Kevin Ward is the only one who's ever said anything smart on that podcast. I wish he would get away from those other two. And it is what it is, boys and girls.
See, it doesn't work though like that. If I'm just here, the only one talking, just making sense into things I'm saying, that's just a boring show. We need the goon out here in the top right corner to say some goonish things.
Well, what do you want from me? I do what I do.
I just love people who like to hate for no reason, right? They're just putting it out there unprovoked. It's like, yeah, I'll hate on these 3 guys who are trying to do something cool.
Well, I mean, honestly, mine wasn't unprovoked. I can never cry like anything that's said to me is unprovoked. That's why if I'm gonna be as absolutely unapologetically blunt as I am, then I can't cry if somebody says something back to me. I can just be like, yeah, I mean, either I agree with you or I don't, but it is what it is.
That's true. So in reality here, I'm the one that's getting drugged through this mud.
Yeah, you're getting drugged.
Which is tough. It's tough.
But I mean, you suck. Hashtag real Kluver sucks.
But real Kluvers never come to the surface. Nobody knows real Kluver. So I'm getting drugged through the mud. I'm the one who does all the work on this thing, trying to donate to the kids, trying to produce entertaining content, be there for the Hawkeye fans, provide a little perspective, and I get shit on, right? You know what? Fuck me, huh? And I have very, very thick skin. Anything that does come through that makes me think certainly doesn't make me sad or anything. But I would be lying if I didn't look at those comments and think, man, can I change this guy's mind? I think if these people that don't like us met us in person, they'd be like, well, some of them might ask for autographs, but they would certainly not think that we were assholes or something like that. Anyway, we'll move on. I don't give a fuck. Since Kevin's not going to be here very long, let's talk about the things that matter. Jack Campbell, Butt Kiss Award winner. Decent, right?
I think that's a pretty solid award to add to the hardware collection. Yeah,
I didn't win the award.
Josie didn't even win the award.
Josie didn't even win the award. He picked off Mahomes twice in the last hour. So
I mean, that means Jack Campbell's going to get drafted and pick off Mahomes 4 times next year.
Well, Jack Campbell is certainly getting drafted, and it's probably going to be higher than Josie's 5th round selection.
4th round. Put some respect on our man's name.
Was it 4th?
Yeah, Josie was a 4th round pick, you bastard.
You're still going to end up being correct, Kluver, that it is going to be higher. But let's not disrespect the outlaw.
Am I confusing him with George? Was George 5th round?
Yeah, we just won't stand for outlaw slander.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think, a lot of people tagged me once Jack was selected as the Butkus winner and said, I think this closes down the debate. I'm not saying it does, right? I'm not saying it does. Jack hasn't done shit in the NFL yet. Again, Josie.
Dude, Josie's overcoming the flattest feet in human history to do what he's doing, okay? Football is played on your feet, and Josie's overcoming having a bad pair of feet. So, and that's coming from a guy with bad feet, all right? So bad feet can talk about bad feet. And Josie
He's
makes
also got to
fun-
overcome that
good,
underbite too. That's not easy
Well,
to
see,
overcome.
now you're just being disrespectful, right? I'm just pointing out an anatomical flaw that he and I both share, and you're just trying to come at him and punch him in his face. Josie, that's Kevin, not me. All respect. I still think you're the best, but
How about him?
Better.
He is overcoming a few things. He is balling out today, boys.
Balling out, and he's swagging out too with the mustache. He's
got the elbow tape. He's got the green dot.
He's getting into the pregame outfits.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about even like the pregame walk-ins. Yeah, he could if he was a coach, he could recruit some moms. That's for sure.
He's coordinating.
Ever?
Oh, Josie would.
Hey, you remember when Josie was the ugliest freshman of all time? So he goes from that to
true.
Honestly, I wouldn't kick him out of bed.
Josie definitely had a good glow up in college. That's for damn sure.
He had a little bit of a glow up. Speaking of that recruiting moms thing, we got a suggestion. This is from a fan. If you follow Drake's suggestion relative to Kevin's recruiting tactics and moms, and fast forward 18 to 22 years, Kevin could coach a team made up of 85 scholarship wards and another 20 walk-on wards. A team of 100, a team of 105 of his sons. Could also be managers, video staff, training staff. What about the recruits he doesn't sign? What about the portal, NIL? It would all be the same name, image, and likeness. That was fan submission right there. On
just create a biological conglomerate of college athletes and producers and all that kind of shit. That if my genes were good enough, I might pursue something like that, but they're just not. There's a walk on for a reason.
105 Kevin Wards.
105 Kevin Wards goes 0-12. That's for damn sure.
105 Jack Campbell's is an issue.
Yeah,
you get
that's an
issue.
Yeah, okay, this brings up an interesting question.
George Kittle.
I was about to say, go NFL guys. They have to play all 22 spots. Who are you taking?
George Kittle.
You're going to probably take
22 George Kittles.
You got to have somebody who can block, but you also need someone who's the best combination of blocking and speed and skill in the NFL. It's probably George.
It's probably George.
You could argue someone else.
If you're going to take George, I can't dick ride George like that. So,
but I think it's legitimately him. No bias.
Give me Nick Bosa.
I was going to say.
Yeah, I was about to say, there's probably a couple of good defensive ends out there. So Nick or Joey Bosa would be
Give
good.
me Micah Parsons if you're going to take George.
Micah would be a competitor for that award. Yeah.
I think maybe Myles Garrett could also probably be
that's a great
issue.
The problem with those two, both Parsons,
Chandler Jones could be an issue.
I think Parsons more so than whoever you just said would be closer to George, is that offensive skill. Like once they actually get the ball in their hands, the speed to run away from a defense, catching, crazy catch radius, ball skills.
I mean, I don't know about Bosa. I want to say Myles Garrett ran a sub 4.7 40.
Myles Garrett ran in like the 4.5s, dude.
They're fast. They're fast.
And he's built like a truck.
You're right.
And not just like those old diesel trucks, man. He's like built one of those new cyber trucks, like slick, lean, and
Tesla truck. Tesla.
No, he's built like the new GMC Sierra with the 750 horses in it, dude.
Hey, Drake, no free advertising.
Yeah, no free shout-outs.
No free shout-outs. You called it Tesla truck.
Whatever.
True.
But dude, the dude is like absolutely stacked with not an ounce of body fat on him. I'd take 22 Myles Garrett. I think that team wins some ball games.
I will say this: George wasn't from what I can remember, George wasn't the best at throwing the football. Maybe he's gotten better since.
I think unless you pick like a quarterback, you're going to be a run-only offense.
It's going to look like the Army-Navy game.
Exactly. Well, how about that game? Did you guys watch?
Hell of a game, man.
Yeah.
Jersey's on fire.
Oh, I think Army clearly had the better.
Army had the better ones. Those Army jerseys go up against any in the country, especially with America behind you.
I mean, yeah, I love how they always do like new uniforms for that game every year now, and
it's amazing.
Sick. And my parents went to the game a couple years. I think it was the year before COVID, and they said it was like one of the coolest games they've ever gone to.
I feel like if Kevin Ward was to play another college football game, it would be in an Army-Navy game. That's where Kevin Ward belongs. It's an Army-Navy football game.
You saying I should have gone to the Air Force Academy?
I think he should have. Yeah.
Yeah, I probably would have fit in all right.
Would've.
Man, I was just thinking the other day, like, there's like a handful of decisions in your life that greatly alter the trajectory of your life.
Mhm.
You know, where you go to school, what career you decide to follow afterwards, and like, there's like three decisions in there that my life could look so freaking different right now.
Everybody's good, right?
Yeah. You ever
Where
think
you go-
about it like that?
Oh, I think about stuff like that all the time. I love philosophical sort of big picture thoughts like that. Yeah.
Especially decisions like you were really close on too, you know? Like,
I
I
think
really
about
could have easily gone the other way.
Yeah, and for me, college wasn't one of those, but for you, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Drake's probably got a few of those decisions.
Hey, you think about a lot of those things when your life takes a fucking jump off of a cliff.
You know who's made a couple decisions that could alter their life is, and I want to make sure that we get this conversation in. Two of the transfers from Iowa, Keegan Johnson will be a Kansas State Wildcat, which is, I think, where people were predicting that Arlen Bruce would go because he's from Kansas, or from Missouri. He's from the Kansas City area. It looks like he's going to end up at Arkansas State. Maybe he took a visit there. I saw him on a visit. It's so weird that like college kids are now still taking visits. The portal's a very interesting thing. And Justin Jacobs found a bag. I think he found a bag.
Oh, is it announced now?
You haven't seen it?
No, I've not been on Twitter today.
Also breaking news for me on this podcast.
Well, would you guys like to take a guess?
Well,
Is it Oregon?
You said his girlfriend was at Georgia, so I'm just going to take the bait.
I thought that would be where he went as well. Kevin, you are correct. He will be going out west to Eugene. And the swoosh talks, I guess.
Always does.
To me, this decision was one where we were a little confused last week when we talked about this, right? We talked about it. He didn't end up going south where his girlfriend plays softball at Georgia, right? That would make sense. It's like, okay, you're going to follow your lady. Hope that works out. He's going real far away from Athens, all the way out to the Pac-12 and at Oregon. And their defense ain't better than Iowa's. They don't.
I mean, we said it the last podcast. Like, it was pretty understood that he'd been in contact with someone about a certain amount of money, and he's going to take the money up front. And, you know, I thought he would stayed here for another year. He would have gotten drafted next year and made himself a nice living. But, you know, he's going to make some good money now, and we'll see how it turns out for him long term. Who knows?
I think you're right. You talked about it, Kevin. I think there's better chance than not that this is long term the worst play.
And I mean, we talked with Brad last podcast too. Like, probably could have made some money here too to stay. Probably could have made a decent amount.
Especially if you go to
He was going to be like the dude in the center of the defense last year.
Go to T Barnes or just hit up Brad and be like, hey, I don't mean to like be an asshole or scare you guys, but like Oregon's throwing this amount of cash at me. How much can you guys give me or set me up with for an NIL deal? Which that would actually be legal, by the way. Oregon, anything that they're, you know, I'd love to know that. I would love to know.
You know what you got to do is
the paper trail.
As a player, this would be an ultimate chess move. You know, you got someone from some booster, whatever, from another program saying, hey, we'll give you X to play here. You know, once you get off in the corporate world, you get a job offer, right? But you like your company, you give your company a chance to match, right?
Yep.
They match. All right. These motherfuckers are tampering. Go snitch on them. You already secured your bag. You're staying home, and now that team's in trouble.
And now you fucked Oregon
Dang,
out of.
Kevin, that's some good shit.
Now you
All
fucked
right,
Oregon out of.
you know what? Clip this, put it out there, send it to some guys on the Hawks, and let's make. You know, we got to play chess, not checkers.
Your mic just switched over and you touched it. We can at least still hear you. I thought what you were going to say was you get them into a bidding war, and now all of a sudden, Oregon comes to you with 50,000, and you go to Tyler Barnes and you're like, hey, they're telling me I'm getting 75, 80 grand over there. And then they match that, and you go back to Oregon and you say, hey, Iowa just promised me
80 grand.
I would
give me 80 grand.
So I don't know. I think it's pretty clear that that there was some non-legal steps to the paper trail that Justin Jacobs took.
Everything is getting fucking tampered with.
Yeah, I mean,
everything is illegal right now.
I tweeted about it. I said, "Buddy got a bag." Quote tweeted it. It was interesting in his tweet. It said something along the lines of "a dream come true" or something like that. So that's interesting a little bit. Somebody responded to my tweet and said, "So does this mean
he had a shit ton of offers in high school? Did he have an offer from them?"
He was certainly talented enough that a school like Oregon would offer. It would not have been out of the question. I'd have to go back and look to see if they actually did. I know he had a lot of offers. Somebody asked, does this mean Iowa is going to just become a farm system for the schools with way more money, right? Iowa is a tier 2 school in the country, right? They're not in Ohio State, Alabama, arguably even in Oregon sits up there. I'd probably put Oregon tier 2, but with more money. Does this mean that Oregon or somebody with a lot of cash, Texas, Miami, does this mean that they just start picking off Iowa players who establish themselves as good players sophomore, junior year, and they steal them?
If Bart has anything to say about it, yeah.
Oops. Hey, Gary, we need to talk. That's all I'm saying.
The three of us would like to have a word.
And I bet Hawkeye Nation would like to be in on that conversation too if they knew what was going on.
I know our Discord would.
Might be able to keep Justin around if we had a few more McBiskies. You know?
Might have him if he wasn't trying to keep it all.
I'm saying, right? Don't want to drop any bombs, but you guys listening can read into that all you want. Weird. But he's going to go out and play for the Pac-12, and it will be interesting to see where he gets drafted and how his career pans out from here, because I think that at Iowa, as a guy on this defense, important guy on this defense with Phil Parker, with the Iowa brand, I think he has the potential to be certainly a second-day guy. Could his potential up from there? I don't know.
He's got as high as a ceiling as you could possibly want.
Yep. Certainly could be a first day guy if everything went perfect. Yep. So where will he land in the draft after playing a year at Oregon? Who knows? But like you guys said on the last podcast, we'll play with the guys we got and who want to be here. And that's that basically. You guys watch the Heisman ceremony at all, or no?
Did not get a chance to watch it, but I did see that Caleb Williams won. He was a heavy favorite and damn good quarterback.
Damn good quarterback. I would have liked to seen Duggan win.
I like watching that guy play. Dude plays with some heart.
I want to know how Caleb Williams gets away with writing "fuck" other teams on his fingernails.
Fuck Utah on his fingernails.
How do you get away with that? He did it multiple times.
Wild.
He did it to UCLA too.
Did he?
I think he did it to Texas.
Can you imagine if one of our coaches would have caught us? First of all,
listen.
Hey, I understand the sentiment. We can't be doing that shit, okay?
All right.
I think
And
it'd be a
action.
little more harsh than that.
KF comes into a team meeting Sunday after a game where one of our teammates wrote "fuck the opponent" on his fingernails. Action. Oh, okay. I'm gonna get started here. First of all, I want you guys to fucking listen up, okay? If you guys care about your fucking nails, all right, I'll give you a gift. I'll get you a fucking gift card down the street. Okay, my wife gets her nails done right around the corner. Okay, I can get you in with her. We can get you a manicure. All right, but we don't need to be writing shit on our own nails. Okay, let's worry about winning the fucking football game. All right, glad we got that taken care of. We'll move on to some shit that's actually important. All right,
9-on-7.
Coach, pull up the tape. This guy's hands look a little heavy right here. Drops a ball. Almost if there's some fucking ink on his fingernail. I'm not sure what's going on there, but holy shit, all right. I don't know. That's interesting to me.
I guess when you're winning Heismans, you can do whatever you want.
It's very Hollywood of him. Very, very USC of him.
Yeah.
Duggan, I don't know if you guys saw the video of Duggan after the Big 12 championship game, but that's like a video that wins you over, right? That's sort of like when Jack Campbell gets up at the podium and speaks, you just hear that emotion, that passion in his voice. Duggan, an Iowa boy as well. So there's a little bit of, supposedly he was going to go to Iowa State, and then Purdy, who's fucking balling, by the way, 35-0 over the GOAT.
T's and P's to Debo.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, they announced that it wasn't as severe as they originally thought.
Good.
An ankle injury, not a knee injury.
Thought it was a knee.
So he might be back at some point this year. But yeah, I mean, dude, the Niners just got so many weapons. I feel like you could throw Drake back there and he could play quarterback for them right now.
Well, for sure, because all they do is hand the ball off, run screens and rollouts. And I mean, Purdy's making drop back passes like twice a quarter. I can throw 4 incompletions.
He was completing them though. Like he was hitting George. He ran one in the red zone.
Let me not hate on the kid. I know that I've been a hater for a long time, and it's hard for me to not be a Brock Purdy hater because he never beat the Hawks, and he was supposed to be, the savior of Iowa State, and never won a trophy. So that just is what it is, Like I lived in Gilbert, and he's from Gilbert, and I'm better, Hawks better than Iowa State. He might
Drake's like, hey buddy, come catch me in Gilbert, huh?
He might be doing things for the San Francisco 49ers right now. No, who cares, Mr. Irrelevant, He didn't win a Cyhawk series. That's all I'm saying. 5-0, kid.
2-0 playing for the Niners. Hell of a start versus the GOAT. Running in touchdowns, a lot of fantasy points, but hey, never touched a Cyhawk, did you?
Never touched the Cyhawk.
Never even touched it.
Didn't even touch it.
He doesn't even actually know what it looks like.
True. He's balling though. And honestly, he's probably the best quarterback Iowa State's ever had, and I could see him being successful in the NFL. I really could.
And if he wins a Super Bowl with the Niners, I'm gonna find out a way to get him a replica of the Cyhawk. I'll send it to him.
Well, they make little mini.
I think they sell them in like little miniature.
Yeah, there's little miniature.
I'm gonna send him the whole thing.
We could probably rent it out.
Well, he could probably go to Ames and visit it right now because
Well, that's true. That's tough.
Yeah.
The Niners offense, Debo definitely hurts not having him, but the Niners offense is dangerous. That McCaffrey trade was elite. He's balling. George is balling and is, thank the Lord, staying healthy.
They've just got some dudes on that front 7 on the defense.
Dudes, right? They're scary. You don't want to mess with them right now. What else is happening? Did you guys see watching Josie ball out all over the place on the opposite side of the football? First of all, how trash the Broncos offense is, even though they did score some points today.
Starting to pull it on today.
They did. Russell Wilson get his head put in the ground?
Yeah, Russell Wilson ain't looking too straight for the next week or so. You see, he had like a freaking massive contusion on the side of his head from the hit he took.
Buddy was out.
I missed the hit.
It wasn't.
He was like they had a close up of him. He's like lying on the ground and his face is just like
He looked dead.
yeah. There was the lights were on, but nobody was home.
Did they come and have to like cart him off?
I think they did walk him off, but two people around both arms. So yeah,
He looked bad. It looked bad.
Let's ride.
Was that 5 minutes?
5-minute warning.
Is that Kevin giving us the visual signal? Hey, everybody listening, Kevin's got 5 minutes left. What can we squeeze out of Kevin in these last 5 minutes? What do I want out of Kevin? That sounded weird, by the way, Paul. What can Kevin squeeze?
So, Clue, it looks like the baby's any day now.
Yeah, man. We're I thought it was going to come this weekend, honestly. You guys who are listening to this, it's out on either Wednesday or Thursday. I don't know when I'm going to put this out. We're an episode ahead recording this.
Coover has a kid. If you're
At this
listening
point,
to this, Coover has a kid.
If you're listening to this, there's a good chance I have a kid. We are 30.
Whoa, that's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, man. It's a lot. It's a lot for sure.
Did we have onesies, little baby onesies on our last merch drop?
Yes.
We did, and they're on. If you guys are interested in onesies for your child, all the way up through, I believe,
supporting Coover's diaper fund.
Well, just the washed up walk-ons in general. We have onesies all the way from newborn up to, I think, 2 years old on the website, hawksbymillion.com or thewashedupwalkons.com, which will be getting a little bit of a facelift in 2023. Sent the first mock-up of that over to Drake and Kevin today. Looks pretty nice, huh?
Looks sick. Yeah.
Good.
Our boy Matt, I didn't put that together. Our boy, we got a guy. When you're at our level, right? When you're approaching 400 episodes, okay? And you're past 4 years, all right? You know, back in that 2018 club, that podcast club, yeah, those guys didn't know shit. But in 2022, we got this fucker humming, okay? So we got guys for stuff.
We got an operation going on now.
So, facelift coming. A lot of people signing up on the Patreon. Love that. Don't sign up at the $25 level. Two fucking sickos that already did that. They're not getting anything different from the $12 level. But I'm trying to.
Why do we have a $25 level if there's no perks?
Because I'm setting it up later, and it's on the site because I'm trying to get it into. I don't know. It's for me to be.
It's just like, hey, are you rich and you just want to spend more money? Sign up at the $25 level. I remember back. This is early in the Apple days of iPhone. There was an app. It was the I'm Rich app. It was $999 and it did nothing.
Wow. Smart by them, right? Because what's
some
the
people
downside?
bought it. Cost nothing to produce, and some people bought it.
What's the downside? Let's see what else. Yeah, I don't have much else. Since Kevin's gonna leave here, I was gonna bring up I have this fun little conversation that I've got of how the Big Ten could potentially look, maybe the best way the Big Ten could move forward with expansion and divisions and how that would look in the next few years, especially with the college football playoff. But that's a long conversation, like potentially an entire episode where we could talk it out. So, Kev, I don't know what you got to do, if you got to hide a body or if you got to fucking, yeah, you're probably going to recruit a kid, honestly. So, go get your recruiting on and happy recruiting.
And as always, Hawks by freaking million, boys. I'm out.
Okay, there we go. Kevin's out. We just turn this into DHT or we just wrap it up, a little 40-minute episode.
Didn't you say we were doing a top 5? What is it? Let's come up with one.
You want to just do a top 5 on the spot?
On the spot.
I don't know. Top fives aren't great when you're not prepared for it.
True.
Yeah, maybe we just leave it here. I don't know.
All right.
How about Kevin just saying, I've got things to do, right?
Man of mystery. Here's I have a dilemma. Like, do I go back to this neighborhood party or?
It's still going on right now.
Yeah, man, Kaylee's there.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, here's what you do. You go and you text Kaylee and you say, hey.
There's no service. She won't get it.
Damn. I was going to say you text Kaylee and you say, hey, I'm going to come in with an excuse to get us out of there. But she's probably like wants to be there and shit.
I don't know. She's probably doing business. Hopefully she's doing some selling.
That would be the idea, right? Fucking Caleb Williams, unbelievable. I got nothing. I'm not even gonna force this. Brain's a little bit preoccupied. I've been cramming work, so I've been doing a ton of programming. I'm getting ready to do a New Year's fitness challenge, all while having a newborn. So I've been setting all of that up to run sort of automated and smooth. Getting unbelievable response from people on Twitter about wanting to sign up for a fitness challenge. So at least people care about getting healthy. And I'll do a little free advertising right here. If you're feeling like you got a few extra pounds from Thanksgiving, feel like you don't quite have it when you walk up the stairs anymore. You get up there, you're sweating your ass off, breathing hard. Need to work on that fitness a little bit. Get back in a routine. Your boy's running a fitness challenge to start the year. And I'm not taking people who aren't committed. This isn't for fucking pansies. It costs money. And it's for people who actually care. Because I put a lot of effort into it. Any other words to the haters before we go, Drake? The people talking shit about us on the message boards. You got nothing for them? Meet you in the octagon?
What do I need to say, dude?
I don't know.
We have merch because of them.
It's true. Cheeto fingers. That's it. We'll wrap it up here because why talk for another 20 minutes and force it and create bad shit? Thank you guys for tuning in. We're quickly approaching the bowl game. We'll obviously have a preview for that. Hopefully, if I can get this link figured out for Kevin and Drake to watch the Kinnick documentary, they're going to watch that, and then we're going to have Scott back on. We're going to do a little recap of that doc. So I believe that's out on Blu-ray now as well. You can order that. So pretty sick. Maybe we'll get Scott to give us a couple copies. We'll give that away to a couple listeners if you give us a review on Apple or Spotify or something. And that's what you got coming up. But other than that, that's it. Walk-ons out. Short episode. Nothing too crazy to talk about. 377. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Peace.